Birds are probably one of the most fascinating and interesting creatures on Earth. And there's more shapes and sizes than you can imagine. And besides being beautiful, some of them are just extremely interesting.
Since 2003, retired teacher Mike Yip has hoisted an enormous camera lens and tripod over his shoulder and wandered off the beaten paths all over Vancouver Island in search of birds and butterflies.
Like most people, I never paid any attention to the birds. I just took them for granted. I knew what the robins were because they were always in my raspberry patch.
Mike's journey to becoming a recognized avian photojournalist began one frozen February morning when he couldn't get out onto the golf course.
I had nothing to do but to drive around and enjoy some of the local sights. And I came across some strange ducks in a marsh at Wall Beach, and I was mesmerized. I just stopped and I watched them for about an hour, and then I went home, got a camera, and tried to take some pictures. Later that day, I went down to Chapters and thumbed through a bird book and discovered they were shoveler ducks.
That first encounter soon led to daily forays into the wilderness, seeking the perfect birding opportunity.
For the first 5 or 6 years, I would say it was an obsession. I was definitely wanted to start my day off chasing birds, and if I didn't have that, didn't chase birds, then I wanted to be reading up about them or studying them or seeing what, checking websites to see what other people were seeing.
Sometimes it meant waiting for hours to catch a glimpse of a kingfisher in action or the elusive white ravens of Qualicum Beach.
In a certain sense, it's the bird that dictates what you get. And so, you can't tell the bird to spread his wings like this, right? Mm-hmm. That's what you get. And so that you just try to get them in an interesting pose in good lighting.
Most photographers are after the perfect photo, something to grace the cover of a recognized magazine. But for Mike, it's about educating the public about the beauty and diversity of birds and even butterflies, in the hope people will be more concerned about the environment.
I spotted him sitting there. Mm-hmm. So I stopped, pulled out the camera, click, click, click. After he ate this one, he went and caught another one, came right back, same spot. And so in a span of maybe an hour, he caught about 4 dragonflies, came back to the same spot.
Wow.
And just had them for lunch.
Oh, and, that's cool.
So I got the good shot. Most people are unaware of the number of birds we have on the island. Like I said, when I first started, I probably only knew about a dozen myself. But yes, now I probably have seen, around 300. And the people who keep track of the number of birds that have been seen on the Vancouver Island, they're well over 400. And so each year, in fact, there is, a couple of new birds that find their way to the island. Sometimes they're just lost, and sometimes it's a case of what they call range expansion. This is one of those rare birds from Asia that ends up over here. And this was at French Creek in, I think it was 2005. And it was probably only the second one ever seen in British Columbia.
Over 400 journals posted on his website detail his birding adventures over the past 10 years.
Actually, the whole purpose of taking pictures, it's for me, I consider pictures as something that you need to share with other people. In 2004, I started my website, VancouverIslandBirds.com, and at that time, there weren't too many bird websites, and so it became very popular, and within a few years, I was averaging 300 or 400 hits a day, which was pretty good, and one day I even got as high as, I think, 6,000 hits in one day.
His dedication to raising awareness about the birds of Vancouver Island has led to a series of 5 self-published books featuring his incredible pictures.
This is the first book I produced in 2005, and I've now sold probably close to 5,000 copies. Book 2 was done in 2007, and it's sold out now, and that was 3,400 copies.
While Mike may be slowing down, venturing off perhaps only 1 or 2 times a week nowadays, and only penning about a journal a month, his enthusiasm for sharing the wonder of the avian world hasn't. For Go on Shaw TV, I'm Annette Lucas.